Right, so come with me, guys. Right, so this is the garage, and this is going to be turned into my workshop. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. I've got to go up the dump, but here is the aforementioned drill press that I've just bought. I'm going to have a workbench along here. I've got loads of guitar stuff and speaker cabinets and stuff. That's all going to go at some point. So I've now got the drill press, so I'm now in position to start drilling out the Strat body. Let's go and have a look at that now. Right guys, so what we've got to do today is I've come indoors to do this, just to talk through it. I've already measured the depth of these holes, and I've pre-cut some dowels that I'm going to fill these holes with. These are just ordinary hardwood dowels. I bought them off eBay actually. What I need to do is to measure this, zero the vernier. Right, what I need to do is measure the diameter of the dowel itself, which I think is 4.94 millimeters, just under 5 millimeters. These are actually 5mm dowels, but I always come up a little bit lower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill it out a little bit below that. This is that's a bit low. Let's have a look. This will cut a little bit higher, 4.9. So I've got a 4.9 drill. That's got to go down probably around about, let's say about 13mm, something like that, in each of these holes. I'll sand them flat then, and then I'll re-site the bridge and drill some new holes for the new Wilkinson bridge. So let's crack on. You've just seen the drill press. That's in the garage at the moment. It is wired up and everything, so I know it's not ideal at the moment. It's on the floor. It will be on a bench at some point in the coming months, but at the moment it's on the floor. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill these out, glue these in, rub it down, and then we'll measure out and drill for the new bridge, and then we're in a position that we can start spraying this thing. Okay, let's crack on. Right, so I'm going to want to drill down about 13 millimeters. So let's set the vernier to approximately 13. That'll do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of tape just around. It hasn't got to be precise because just so I don't go too deep. That's it. Right. Right, ready to go. Let's just bring it down, line it up with that hole. Fine. Next one. Well, hello guys, I'm back outside and we've just drilled the holes out. I'm going to be putting the dowels in. I'm using Type Bond for this. So the way I'll do this is I put the glue on a cotton bud or a match or a toothpick or something like that, and I actually put as much glue inside the hole as I can. The temptation is to put the glue on the dowel and then hammer the dowel in, but all you're going to do there is push the glue up the dowel. It won't actually go in the hole. So yeah, for this I put the glue in the hole, and the dowels are slightly ribbed, ribbed for pleasure, as they say. The dowels are slightly ribbed, so that allows the glue to sort of permeate up the dowel, the side of the dowel and the hole. So as you can see me here, I am putting glue in every hole. This is being voice-overed after the event. This video took about 3 or 4 days to do because I had other things to do at the time, so it was a bit stop start. I did this out in the garden. I didn't want to sort of talk while I was doing it out in the garden. Now this is a fretting hammer, which I'm using the brass end just to hammer the dowels in. Yeah, this was a bit stop start, this video. Doing this video took me about 3 or 4 days to do because I had to do a bit, stop, go and do something else. You know, life happens, doesn't it, and life gets busy sometimes, so I've had to film it in over a few days and put it all together in Adobe Premiere. And some of the videos are going to be voiced over separately rather than as I'm doing it. So yeah, and this one is pretty boring. It's just hammering the dowels in. So what I actually do after this, I'll leave them about a day to dry. You can actually do it straight away, to be honest, but I left it a day to dry, and then I sawed the top of the dowels off flush with the guitar body. You'll see that in the next scene coming up, but at the moment, like I say, I'm just putting glue inside the holes. I did the first 3 holes first, did the dowels in there, and now I'm doing the last 3. I think I probably didn't cut didn't cut the dowels short enough, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, to be honest, because you're going to cut them flush anyway. I've got a really special saw for doing this, for cutting the dowels flush with the guitar body without damaging the body, which is really good. And I'll explain that to you in the next video, which is coming right up now. Right, so here we've moved inside the kitchen, and here I have got a special saw. It is a Japanese saw. It is a Shinto saw, I think it's called. It's double-edged. One edge is for doing softwoods, the other edge is for doing hardwoods. As you can see, it's very flexible, and you can hold it flush with the body of the guitar. And the good thing about this saw is the teeth do not stick out the sides. They are very, very straight, and you'll see exactly what I mean. And you can go right up to that dowel, cut right through that dowel, and it is pretty much flush with the guitar body. These are really good. You can get them from Amazon. They're about £20 each. This is the one I'm using, was actually made in Japan. They are specifically Japanese saws, but I think you can get copies of them that are probably made in China and places like that, but this is a proper Japanese one. So here I am just cutting flush the dowels. What I'll do after this is at the last two, the bottom E and the bottom A, the one I'm doing now and the next one, the E hole, were a little bit proud of the body, so I had to sand a little bit there. You can see me feeling the flushness of the dowels. The ones at the top there were perfectly flush, but these two here, they needed sanding. So out with my sanding block and some 320, and I'll give it a little go with some 320. I could have gone a bit lower actually. I could have gone with a coarser grit, but they weren't that flush. They weren't that proud really. It's literally thousandths of an inch, but enough to cause an issue when I'm spraying. So, and also when I'm putting the bridge on. So I sand these flat, get it all nice and flush with the body, and the next thing to do will be to mark out for the bridge, and that's going to come up next. Right, hi there gang, and here we are back. We're on the floor this time in the living room. It'll be much better once I've got my workshop done and dusted, but so I'm going to sort of do this guitar best way I can. So I thought I'd set up on the floor today. We're going to be marking out for the bridge. So for this little job, you're going to need a few tools and implements, and also coffee. You need plenty of coffee to do this. This is a very nice coffee, damn fine coffee. Right, so we're going to be marking out for this Wilkinson bridge. It's an M series, MX1792CR. Let's take it out, let you have a look. Just dumped a load of other stuff in there as well. Right, so there's the bridge. Yeah, it's just a really, really well made bridge. These Wilkinson bridges are really good quality, to be fair. So what we're going to do is we are going to mark it out. Let's just get rid of it. Mark it out on this tape. I've already taped the body up. Let me just what I'm going to do, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. There we go. So I've already taped the body up, so that will drop in nicely, but what we've got to do is make sure it is positioned correctly to the centre line of the guitar, and then we've got to position it so that it's at the right scale length, which is 25.5 inches from the nut. We'll probably measure it from the 12th fret, but it all amounts to the same thing. Right, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the scale length. That's generally the first thing I always do. So, tools. You will need a pencil. This is a really nice pencil. You'll need a ruler. I have two here. I have a 24-inch ruler, and I also have a metre rule, which I use for positioning, finding the centre line. And occasionally, you don't always have to use this, but I have a protractor, and I'll show you what that's for in a little while. Right, let's find the scale length. So, right, so a Fender guitar scale length is 25.5 inches, which means from the 12th fret, I'll get that in shot, the 12th fret here to where the bridge, the saddles will be 12 3/4. So you've got two ways of doing this. You can either measure from the nut, or you can measure from the crest of the 12th fret, and that is what I'm going to do today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right, so 12 3/4 there. Make sure that's dead centre, which it is. And then we do the other side. 1 second. I'm going to move the camera. That's it. It's in the way. 12 3/4, which is there. And then I'm just going to double check. Actually, that one's a tad, and that's cock out, so I'm going to redo that one. Measure once, measure twice, cut once. Those are the rules. So get that top dead centre of the fret. Actually, it wasn't far out anyway. And then just double check the other measurement. I'm being very pedantic about this. I want it to be exact. So what we'll do that's better. Let's double check. Spot on. Right. What we can now do is join the dots, and we should have scale length. There we go. You probably can't see it on the camera, but it's there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the metre rule out, and I'm going to double check it to the nut. So this 25.5, look at that, spot on. 25.5, spot on. Right, so now what we need to do is to find the centre line. Now, there's a number of ways of doing this, but the way I do it is quite simple, really. The neck is attached to the guitar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my metre rule down the side of the guitar neck. In line with that neck, with the taper of the neck. So that is the centre line of where the bridge will live. Right, now we need to measure between those points and find the middle point. Right, so now we've got to find the centre line of this, between these two lines. Now I've got two ways of doing this. I could do it in imperial, which is 2 and 1332, which is a bit of a weird one to divide by 2. So, or I'll turn it around and do it in millimetres, and it's just a tad over 6 millimetres, about 6.5 millimetres. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run with that, and we're going to go 3 millimetres in the middle. There we go. So now we've got our centre line. Now we need to use our protractor. So what we do is I'm going to line this protractor up with the line, the scale length line, which we know is square. And I'm going to extend that centre line, which is now a little bit on the piss. Let's rub that out and start again. Do it again. That's better. So now we've got the outside of the scale, they've got the scale length, and we've got the centre line. Next, we need to find the centre of the bridge itself. Right, so for positioning this bridge, we need to find the centre point of here. Now, with a vernier, you can actually check from the outer hole to the edge, 7.8, and the other side is 7.8 as well. So we can actually measure the width of that in, and then divide it by 2 to get the centre, and that is 73.84. So we need to find the centre point of that, so that is 7, right, so we've got 36.9, so I've actually just written it down there. So now I'm going to set my vernier to 36.92. It's not a science, as long as it's like within 0.1. So the centre line is going to be there. So I've put a little bit of tape on there, and I've used the tip of this to just score a small line in that tape. So you can see there, I've added a line there. Right, so now we need to position, I think we're going to go with 8mm, just because. Right, so now we've got it positioned, I can now mark the holes. There we go. 6 perfectly measured holes which are in the right position for the scale length. Now we just need to find out what drill bit we're going to use to drill these little holes out. We're going to go a little bit lower than the screws that we've got. The screws that we've got are let's do it in metric. We've got 3.5 millimeters, so I'm going to drill these out probably around about 3 millimeters. That should be adequate, and that will give us enough meat for the screws to screw down. 3.5 millimeters. So we're just going to take off, say, 0.5 millimeter, maybe a little bit more. These are just really pilot holes just to get it going. So we'll come back after I've finished drilling them. So here we are back in the garage, back at the drill press. You can see that I've modified this drill press. I've actually put some MDF on there. It's bolted to the table. These are below flush, so there's no way of damaging any guitar bodies. Let's put the drill, wrong way. Put the drill in at the chuck. So I've got a 2.75 millimeter drill bit here, which I'm going to use. Just plug the drill in. And you can see I've already marked it off, and without further ado, yeah, that's fine. I've already centre punched these holes, so the drill will find its centre. Right. There we have it. That is one bridge drilled out. Let's take the tape off. There we go. So guys, that's the first part of this Strat done. The bridge is on. Once I put the bridge on, I've screwed the bridge in there just to hold it in place. I then put two E strings on to make sure that it was centered. I think it's going to need a new nut, because this nut, I think, is a little bit out of position. or the grooves are a little bit, the string slots are a little bit out of position. We shall see. It was a tiny bit out. The low E string was a bit too close to the edge of the fingerboard, but it seemed all right at this end, so I suspect it's the nut, but we'll see. There might be a little bit of jiggery and a pokery that I can do, but we're now good to go. I can now start spraying this guitar, Gary. Now the donkey work's out of the way. It took a long time to do this, I'm afraid. I do apologise, but it was stop, start. You know, as soon as I started doing something, I started filming, then I had to stop, I had to go and do something else, family matters and stuff like that. So, in all, this has taken me just to do these, you know, ordinarily this job would have took me, you know, to drill out and dowel the old holes, glue the new dowels in, saw them, sand them down, mark out for the new holes, drill them. Probably would have took me an hour or so, a couple of hours to allow the glue to dry as well. This has taken me 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks to do, because I have to film it at the same time, and I can't film when there's too many people around the house because it's just too noisy. So I have to do it when I have time alone at home to do this sort of thing. Anyway, I digress. We're now in a position to disassemble this again, take the neck off, take the bridge off, pack it away in its little box for safekeeping, and then we can start spraying the body. So I'm going to spray it in a coat of primer. Then I'm going to start spraying the blue. I think it's Lake Placid blue, if memory serves me right. It's metallic blue. Then clear coat. What I am going to do, Gary, if you're watching this, I'm going to order another can of clear, because I don't think I'm going to have enough clear coat for the body and the neck. And I'm also going to order some amber tint for the neck, which I haven't got. We don't want this to look so anemic, so I'm going to tint it in vintage amber. And job will be a good one. If I can get this sprayed over this weekend, yeah, we should be good to rock and roll. This weekend and next weekend, maybe. I've got to take the neck off. I've got to mask off the fretboard. What else have I got to do? I've rubbed everything down. It's ready to go, really. Yeah. At last, we're going to start making progress on this, Gary, and you will have this guitar, I would say, by the middle of November. Maybe the last quarter of November-ish. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, with that ado, I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now. Cheers. Bye-bye.